What's up guys, and welcome back to Pop Beat Breakdowns. In today's video I'm going to be breaking down a simple Harry Styles As It Was type beat that I recently made for my type beat channel. If you are new to this channel, smash that subscribe button as it is the best way to support this content going forward, and if you enjoy these sorts of beat breakdown videos then this is the channel for you. With that mandatory out the way, let's not waste any time at all. Let's jump into Logic and let's break down this beat. So I wanted to do this video for you guys as obviously recently Harry Styles had done very well at the Brit Awards, and this song especially was one of the most successful songs of the past year, so I wanted to go into Logic and just start trying to create something similar to it and just see where it went. Now the order that everything is here is the order that it's been added, so you can get the best understanding of how I've built up this beat from the ground up, especially if you're a beginner for music production. That this is the perfect kind of videos for you to learn, in my opinion, because when I did music production I studied a degree and you can learn all like the sort of technological side of music, but no one really teaches you how to actually get to producing a song. Where do you get your first idea from? How do you build on that initial idea? It could be a hook, could be a melody, could be a chord pattern to build up. So I hope these videos give you a bit more of an understanding of how you can take that idea and build it up. So today, when I listened to As It Was by Harry Styles, the first thing that I did was, okay, I'm going to do a very similar drum beat, because that could be the sort of best feel for getting a track going. Now it's the same BPM as Harry Styles as it was, 174, and the key is very similar as well, very similar chords. Now for the drums today, we have got the kick and snare on one track using the Brooklyn drum kit by Logic Pro X, and then we've got the Brooklyn again as well for the, I think that's the cymbals and some toms, and then we're using the drum kit designer using the hi-hat free Prismatica, I think that is, to create this drum beat. So this is the drum beat I came up with. Very simple. Again, just something very similar to the Harry Styles beat. But again, that's the easy part. So then the next thing that I wanted to add was the bass. So we used the Solid Soul electric bass because the rhythm section sometimes is a very good thing to build up first, because the rhythm section, you know, they have to coincide and exist really well with each other in a mix, because this is where you start to get a feel for the rhythm. So we used the bass, the Soul electric bass, one of my favourite basses in Logic, and I basically just laid down this beat here. So we're now starting to get a general vibe for how this song is going to go, and I was thinking, okay, so there's a really nice rhythmic quality to this, and when you listen to the song it always feels like it's kind of running, and it has this real nice progression to it where it just feels like it's ever like rolling along. It has good momentum, which makes it a good song to listen to. So I wanted to keep that, so I wanted to next add something more rhythmic, and I found the Dream Dancer, which is in the classics section of synths in the Logic presets, and I layered two different variations of a really like sort of pity-patty picked synth. This is to add to the bass, help the rhythm section, and I accompanied this one as well. Now I really love using the root note or root chord of the song to create them sort of really nice like harmonizing sounds, as you can hear there. So the A major in this case is consistently playing throughout, and even if it just clashes that little bit, I like that sound because it adds a little bit of edginess to the productions. So far we've got what probably sounds like a pretty solid verse, but there's a long way to go yet. So the next thing now that I thought would be good to add is guitar. More specifically MIDI guitar. I'm a big fan of MIDI guitar, electric guitarist, real guitarist rather, don't hate me for it, but we're using Native Instruments Electric Vintage. For those of you who don't know what that is, if you're not a guitarist and you want the best sounding MIDI guitar, I highly recommend that you check out Native Instruments. I'm not being paid or endorsed to say this, but the Electric Vintage is a very good starting place. You also have the Electric Mint as well, that's very good, and the Sunburst. In the Session Guitarist Native Instruments, they're both very good for MIDI guitar. You can either play loops in, triggered by MIDI chords, or like here, you can play the melody, so you can play open, muted, and all sorts. So like the possibilities are really like characteristically rather similar to real guitar. So these are the three different guitar layers I've got. Similar to our rhythmic synth, Then we have some chords. That's very modulated, that guitar there. And then we got this one. So yeah, I think I might have to... Yeah, that's right. So now we've got all of these in together. Let's have a listen to the song so far. So now it's just missing the main hook synth of the song, and I feel like there's a little bit of body missing. So before I get to the actual synth, how I created the final synth I went for, I added this dark swell pad because I really wanted to sort of bulk out especially the chorus, because it's got this real nice warm saturated feel to it, which is very common with the more like the synth pop new wave kind of genre that this fits into. So we're using the retro synth on this one, and you can see I've done a massive boost to the low end to add that proper warmth, that below 200 hertz warmth that you get in the low end. And the dark swell pad, which is a synth pad in the retro synth here, I've just used this. Just again, just using the EQ to scrape it to how I wanted to, and I've also added a chorus effect to push this right out to the sides of the mix as well. And we get that, what I call the ambience. So now we just need to add the synth hook, and to do that I did something called the stacking principle. So when you want to create a sound, you almost find that sometimes you can be limited, or you can never find that exact sound you want. Instead of spending hours scrolling for that exact sound, stack different sounds together which have similar characteristics to what you're looking for, and eventually you get the sound you want. So look, I've got this little melody here that I've recorded in. The vintage pluck. These are all Logic presets, by the way. And all I did was I went through Logic and finding some different sounds. So this is different to the last one. And then we've got the Dream Dancer also playing it. And the Dream Bells. And you put them all together, you get a very unique original sound that you've created yourself. And that was the hook. So you can see I came up with a hook which I wanted to have a similar feel to that one that's very persistent throughout Harry Styles as it was. But it's, again, this is a very simple production. I've not added a lot to it, but because it is quite a simple production, it's Harry Styles one. Because you've got to remember, when you're making productions, you've got to allow gaps in the production for the vocal to really stick through. So when you put it all together, this is the production that I came up with. So yeah guys, that is a very simple production of Harry Styles as it was. Try it out for yourself, listen to the song and see if you can create something similar using similar way and method of building that I have, and you will be very surprised hopefully by the results. You could do really good things with this, and it's really good to always use reference tracks. It's one thing if you're a producer, especially a beginner, one thing to get yourself a lot better and refine your craft is to try and replicate ideas of other producers, because then that's the best way you learn actually how certain sounds are created, rather than just playing a guessing game and going into Logic and starting a blank canvas every time. You don't always have to do that. Referencing, again, one of the best things you can do when learning how to music produce. So yeah guys, I'm gonna leave it there for today. If you enjoyed this video, smash the subscribe button right now, as it's the best way to support the channel, and there's many more videos like this to come in the near future, so stick around for that. Keep making music, and I'll see you in the next video.